Janet Yellen testified before the House Financial Services Committee earlier today. She said a rate hike in December is, quote, a live possibility. Donald Trump not so sure, calling out Yellen and accusing the Fed of keeping rates low to help the current administration.
In my opinion, Janet Yellen is highly political, and she's not raising rates for a very specific reason, because Obama told her not to, because he wants to be out playing golf in a year from now, and he wants to be doing other things, and he doesn't want to see a big bubble burst during his administration.
White House spokesman Josh Earnest dismissed Trump's comments almost immediately. My next guest says Trump is really making a case about how corporations benefit from the Fed's stance to the detriment of the middle class. Bob Rice is with me now. He is a managing partner at Tangent Capital Partners. So, Bob, you have said that if we look at when Yellen started to talk about raising rates, you see the market's reaction. We even have a graph of that. I mean, in financial circles, it's called the taper tantrum.
Right. And so what you have to understand what Trump is really saying is, if you look at this chart, what you'll see is way over on the left is the great financial crisis from a few years ago. The Fed and all the other central banks started really aggressive easy money policies, some crazy things that are called quantitative easing and other things, to pump up the value of financial assets. And you saw how closely those lines were correlated. And then as soon as we say, oh, wait a minute, we might raise rates, boom, in the upper right-hand corner, you saw the big divergence there. So his point goes to the issue of why is it that people feel like, so many people feel like the system isn't working for them. And this chart helps you understand why they feel that way.
And in essence, it's not. For the middle class, we hear it and we say it all the time. Savers have gotten punished, essentially, by the Fed.
Right. These low rates have been horrible for savers, but they've been great for people who own the financial assets that were reflected in that chart, which just keep going up and up and up in value. Who owns those kinds of financial assets? Well, wealthy people own them, corporations own them, banks own them. The bank balance sheets are stuffed with cash from the Federal Reserve right now.
So that is why we are seeing this backlash from a lot of people. I'm just thinking just this week alone at the CME, there were protesters trying to kick in doors of the exchange there. At an NFL game, there were people rappelling down, protesting a Bank of America-backed company. So, I mean, class warfare, it's just showing up more and more.
There are so many people who just feel disenfranchised. But one of the reasons, for sure, I mean, whether you agree with Trump's assertion that Janet Yellen is actually trying to help Obama personally, there is no question that these central bank policies have greatly advantaged relatively wealthy people, corporations and banks, and disadvantaged, as a direct result of that, less wealthy people. No doubt.
The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer.
They are.
People feel frustrated for a very legitimate reason. Bob Rice, great to see you. Thank you so much. Joining me there from Tangent Capital Partners.